Co-founder and CEO Dennis Crowley became a bona fide rock star. Millions of people used this app to check into restaurants and bars. Of course, none of this would have been possible as late as 2006. By 2009, though, the smartphone revolution was in full swing. Foursquare could piggyback on the ubiquity of iPhones and Droids. Crowley and Foursquare allowed anyone to download and use the app for free. Millions of people did. Oodles of active users, however, do not a business model make. There's a world of difference between a user and a customer. At some point, like all enterprises, Foursquare needed to make money. By growing its user base, Foursquare hoped to expand its customer base, local businesses that could create highly targeted ads that its millions of users would see and, it was hoped, act on. Foursquare was about to take location-based advertising into the smartphone age. No longer would a city pub owner or restaurateur need to pay someone to interrupt passers-by on the street and hand out cards that advertised 2-for-1 drink specials. Via Foursquare, eateries could reach potential customers in a way never before possible. At least that was the theory. Foursquare's promise has always exceeded its financial results. For all of its users and hype, the company has never reported earning a profit. At different points in 2012, both Marissa Mayer's acquisition-happy Yahoo and Facebook reportedly flirted with acquiring Foursquare. In the end, though, the parties never consummated a deal. Yahoo remained a mess, and Facebook didn't really need Foursquare. Its network was enormous, and it wasn't as if the idea of a check-in had never occurred to Mark Zuckerberg. In August 2010, the social network launched Places, a feature not unlike Foursquare. Determined to remain relevant, Crowley and his troops soldiered on. Version 2.0. 2 apps are better than one. On May 15, 2014, Foursquare launched a spin-off app called Swarm. The new app allowed users to broadcast their locations to their friends on social networks such as Facebook and Twitter. The main Foursquare app would still exist, but with a new focus. It would attempt to wean market share from Yelp. Writing for The Verge, Ben Popper and Alice Hamburger explained the two apps' different purposes. Swarm will be a social heat map, helping users find friends nearby and check in to share their location. The new Foursquare will ditch the check-in and focus solely on exploration and discovery, finally positioning itself as a true Yelp killer in the battle to provide great local search. Splitting Swarm from the Foursquare app has not turned out to be a panacea. Over the past few years, many industry analysts have doubted its long-term financial solvency. Foursquare has lost its status as an IT company. In Figure P1 found in the bonus PDF, Google Trends shows just how far the company has fallen. Something had to give. On January 14, 2016, COO Jeff Glick replaced Crowley as CEO. On the same day that the long-rumored change of leadership took place, Foursquare bit the bullet and announced a new investor lifeline at a fraction of its prior valuation. Yes, the company and its employees had to endure the ignominy of the dreaded down round. As Mike Isaac wrote for the New York Times, Foursquare said it had raised $45 million in a new round of venture funding as it tries to bolster its location, data-based advertising, and developer business. The financing pegs Foursquare's valuation at roughly half of the approximately $650 million that it was valued at in its last round in 2013, according to 3 people with knowledge of the deal's terms who spoke on the condition of anonymity. Emphasis mine. Despite Foursquare's well-documented struggles, the app still sports a reported 50 million monthly active users. As Bloomberg TV's Corey Johnson is fond of saying, that ain't nothing. Was it possible that Foursquare's next and ultimately best business model was staring its management in the face? Version 3.0. A data-induced pivot. On April 12, 2016, Glick penned a fascinating post on Medium that qualified as bragging, or at least posturing. The Foursquare CEO revealed how his company collated user check-in data and other variables to accurately predict Chipotle's first-quarter sales. The number dropped nearly 30% compared to the fourth quarter of 2015. As anyone who has studied retail knows, foot traffic isn't a terribly innovative concept these days. Brick-and-mortar retailers have known for many decades that it can serve as a valuable proxy for sales and revenue. All else being